Hey, it's been a while since we've had any discussion at all on this channel, and I apologize. And I will say that I've been looking forward to uploading more on this channel for a while. I've actually written out several videos, recorded a lot of footage, and really made an attempt to come back. But I've been so busy, as many of you guys know, getting into game development itself, where I'm working on my own game. I've been working on it for about 2 years or so, that I get a little consumed with that, and I need to put a little more energy into this. And I've tried and failed, but today I had to because this is such a big topic and something that I wanted to offer some of my own insight into, that I felt like I couldn't pass this day up. So, what's happening is that Destiny is going offline, Destiny 2 more specifically. And I know you're wondering, this is mainly a Warframe channel. It has been for over a decade. What does this have to do with Warframe? Well, I mean, if you've played any Warframe or any Destiny, it's pretty obvious, right? These two games have been, I wouldn't specifically say they have been in direct competition with each other, but they have been compared until the cows come home. Like you cannot have any discussion at all when Destiny or Warframe are being considered, where the other game doesn't come up. If Destiny has a good or a bad update, people will bring up Warframe. If Warframe has a good or a bad update, people will bring up Destiny, and on and on. I've done it. Everyone's done it, right? So the fact that this is happening, I wanted to talk about this from the context of Warframe and kind of give you guys what I think about it. Again, I'm sorry I haven't been around. I'll try to be around more, but I had to talk about this. So Destiny put out this blog that says, for almost 12 years, we've had the joy and honor to exploit the Destiny universe with you all. And I haven't made many videos, guys. Please give me some leeway here. I'm not used to talking into the mic like I used to, okay? So please give me a little bit of rope here. Through all the up and downs, surprises, and triumphs, building Destiny alongside our players has been a monumental privilege. While our love for Destiny 2 has not changed, it has become clear that after the final shape, we have reached a time for our shared worlds and Destiny to live beyond Destiny 2. I want to come back to that sentence. As our focus turns towards a new beginning for Bungie, we will begin work incubating our next games. To that end, on June 9th, 2026, we will release the final live service content update for Destiny 2 to begin that new journey as a studio. Through active development may be concluding, we will ensure that Destiny 2 remains playable just as the original Destiny is today. Many changes in this final update will aim to ensure that Destiny 2 is a welcoming place for players to return to. We're proud of Destiny 2, the places it took us, and the legacy it created. Because of you all, our universe is vast, built on years of shared stories, adventures, and victories. From the Cosmodrome, man, that brings back memories, to the Pale Heart, to Lawless Frontier, we have forged lifelong memories and friendships with you all. We are incredibly grateful to everyone who made that journey with us. From the deepest part of our hearts, thank you, and we'll see you in the stars. Okay, that's a little bittersweet. Let's start with the most obvious. I think if anyone is celebrating this, I think you're just being a dick, to be honest. Like, I know people love Warframe, and I know this isn't many people, and I will go as far as to say I've seen more Warframe players be compassionate about this, more so than I've seen a lot of Destiny players who were upset about the existence of Marathon, and feeling like Bungie abandoned Destiny for Marathon. I've seen more upset Destiny players that kind of push back on this than I've seen Warframe players. Warframe players have mostly been compassionate on social media, and that's great. Glad to hear that. But I will say, if anyone is celebrating this, you're a jerk. And here's why. Warframe has only been made better by the existence of Destiny 2. I will never forget, or at least Destiny 1, right? The entire series. I've covered so much Warframe. I actually covered quite a bit of Destiny 1. I didn't get into Destiny 2, especially as a content creator, but I did play a tiny bit of it. I never bought a single Destiny 2 DLC, but I own most of the Destiny 1 DLC. So most of my memory is when Destiny 1 came out, and that encroached a little bit on Warframe. And I remember the feeling of everyone being like, oh man, is this going to hurt Warframe? Is this going to take Warframe out? And I never felt like that. You know, I will say initially, Warframe was always going to take a hit because here's this new big looter shooter, right? It's made by the creators of Halo. Warframe was always going to take the initial hit of here's this other game that Warframe players are probably going to check out for a while. But I always knew that was going to level out. And the reason that was going to level out is two reasons. And this is why I don't want to see any Warframe players celebrating the death of Destiny. And I don't see any Warframe players doing that. Number one, competition is always good. I said this so many times, man. It's like, it's always good to have something else out there that is competing, or at least being a direct comparison to something you love or something that maybe you're working on, right? Because that other thing will always push you to be better. And I saw that in both games. It wasn't just Warframe. I remember when Destiny did the Trader, Xur. And that seemed like such a small thing, but that was actually a really big thing because that was a bit of something that players could look forward to consistently every week. Every week you knew the Trader was going to be there. And then Warframe noticed that, and then they've got their own Trader. And you can call that copy, and you can call it whatever you want, but that's a good thing because now Warframe players benefit from that. And I know some of the newer Warframe players might not understand you've always had Xur, but there was a time we didn't have Xur. Warframe is not as known, for high-end or in-game content, but they made genuine attempts. I remember when Destiny was putting out their raids, these extravagant raids, right? That's what they're most known for. Warframe made an attempt, and to their credit, even though it didn't work out, I think they learned from them. We got good experiences from them. It brought the community together. There was tons of stuff that I think that the game grew from having those raids. So even though Warframe doesn't do raids anymore, I think them attempting more difficult or more mechanical content did improve the game a lot. This is definitely not the same game as it was before some of that higher level Destiny content came out and really showed DE and Warframe players the stuff they could do. And you don't take everything, obviously. But to me, it is absolutely clear that Warframe has benefited from the existence of Destiny. It's so obvious to me. So I wouldn't understand why this would be anything that someone would celebrate. This is definitely a net negative for everyone. This is not just bad for the Destiny players that are not going to have their game anymore. This is bad for the Warframe players who can't immediately point to a thing to say, hey, they're doing this amazing thing right there, right across the street. We're not talking about abstractly, we're not talking about in some other genre or, in some game that's not as closely related to Warframe, right? Destiny lives right there. You can see it from the shoreline. You walk outside of your Warframe dojo and there's a Destiny ship parked right there. You can see it, right? So it's super easier as a Warframe player to look at something Destiny is doing right and say, hey, DE, they're doing something right over there. So I think that's a loss. Now, will Warframe be a worse game for this? I don't think so. Not obviously, like it's not obvious Warframe will be a worse game, and I haven't played much in the last few years, so I can't speak on it anyway. I actually think Warframe's been a better game in the last few years based on the updates I've played. I will tell you guys, and I've said this plenty of times, I would count Warframe 1999 is outside of the span of time that I grinded Warframe the most. Like, this is post-retirement for me. And Warframe 1999 is my favorite Warframe update. It just is. And I would say, that's in the later years of Warframe right there. So I think the game's getting better. But I would say that I don't think Destiny going down is a net positive for Warframe. Not even close. And I would even go a step further. I think all of the people who are saying Destiny players should jump ship and come to Warframe, I would be careful with that, right? Because even though these games draw a direct comparison, like They just do. They're both looter shooters. I don't think Warframe is for every Destiny player, just like I don't think Destiny is for every Warframe player. I enjoyed both games. I played a lot more Warframe than Destiny. And if you were to make the case to say, hey Mo, you like Destiny, you should play more of it. No, I enjoyed my time with Warframe, or I felt like a lot of that grind time, like the grindy time of like MMOs, I felt like that was more served for me in Warframe. Even though I enjoyed Destiny, I didn't get that I didn't really sink into it the way I sunk into Warframe time wise. Both games, I don't, and you know what's crazy? I don't love one game. Well, love is not the statement. I don't like one game better than the other. I just chose to put my time into Warframe. And from my perspective, I don't think that just telling people to jump ship, and jump ship where the ship sank. I don't think telling people that Warframe is the solution to Destiny players, I would even say it's insulting, because they're grieving their game, and there may be other games that they can go to that they might enjoy. And I think offering them to say, hey, check out Warframe, but I would say most of them have checked it out. So, I don't think it's the end all be all solution to tell all Destiny players to come to Warframe, right? Because they're so different. I think Warframe is like a collection game. And I think Destiny is more like an FPS MMO like. They're very different. But the competition is good. I think both games borrow from each other. I used the trader example, but I think I remember things where Destiny, they had some of the vehicles or something, or some of the mounts, and Warframe players looked at it and were like, whoa, that kind of reminds me of Warframe. So I think both games were made better by the other game. So that's just how I feel about it. I just think overall, as someone who, just in conclusion here, as someone who, my gaming really, especially like Halo 1 was my first PC game. I fell in love with Halo 2. I loved Halo 3. And I remember what it was like when Master Chief got into that cryopod, right? And he was like, cryopod, that's more of a Warframe statement, that cryo chamber, whatever it is. And, he was like, wake me when you need me, or whatever the quote was. And man, I remember how that felt, because I was a Bungie fan before I was a Warframe fan. And Halo was my favorite series, and that feeling when it came to an end, man, that was just bittersweet. That was a gut punch. And that's not necessarily saying I wanted Halo 4 or I wanted Halo 5, but it's just this feeling, right? Like it's over. And I think that's the thing I would like to offer some help on for Destiny players. I can tell you, man, it's not over. It's just not. I think it's bittersweet to feel like that, and I know how you feel like that, but I think without Halo ending, you never get you never get Destiny, and you never get Destiny 2. And for Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 to not exist for the sake of 8 more Halo titles, I think that's a net loss. I think the world needed Destiny and Destiny 2, and I had to feel the pain of losing my favorite series, or at least losing Bungie making my favorite series, so that Destiny 2 could run. I don't think that example is the best, for Bungie going from Destiny to Marathon. But I will say, just being hopeful here, and I want to go back to that sentence, and I'll read it to you again. While our love for Destiny 2 has not changed, it has become clear that after the final shape, we reached a time for our shared world and Destiny 2 to live beyond Destiny 2. To live beyond Destiny 2. And that reminds me of, again, losing Bungie's version of Halo. Because I understand people are not going to be that hopeful that it's going to be a Destiny 3. It may be a Destiny 3. It may be something else that's born out. It may be a whole different sci-fi series. Like, we don't know which direction they're going to go in, and we all know Bungie is suffering. I would just like to offer some positivity and say, in my own lifetime, I'm an aged gamer. I'm getting up there. I've got tons of gray hairs to show for it. And if you aren't a gray-haired field gamer, let me offer you this. In my experience, it almost always ends up where you'll get something good. And I'm hopeful for that. I'm hopeful that, you know, you get a Destiny 3 or you get some great game that you can look back on and say, man, you remember Destiny, but also this is great. So that's just my opinion on it. I hate that this is happening to Destiny, but I will also say, I think when Destiny first came out, they said that this was going to be a 10-year plan or something like that. So, you know, we always knew this is going to be temporary. This is never going to drag out like World of Warcraft. It just wasn't, you know, and we kind of knew that, but, you know, they went on with Destiny 2 and they kept pushing it forward. But it still hurts. It's a gut punch. And I have been playing Warframe more. I think even the footage that I'm going to be showing in this video is not footage I recorded today. I've been playing off and on and trying to get back into it. But I just, you know, it's sad to see Warframe's closest comparison not be around anymore. But, you know, celebrate things for what they were. And hopefully we'll see Warframe get better and better. I can't wait to play some of the newer updates that I haven't played since '99. Oof, I'm falling behind. But I just wanted to make this video. And I miss talking to you guys. And maybe we'll upload some more. We'll see. All right, talk to you guys later.